right here, Tofa. Come lay right here. Come on. She wants to lay right there. Come on, let's just move this camera. It's okay. You stay, Tofa. You stay. You stay. Stay. Sit down, Moon. And I'll just turn this. That'll be okay. That'll be okay. So today, I had a really good day going on. I got Tofa and her dad Mon. Tofa's down for a visit for a couple of weeks to stay with me, her and Vittner. And today, we're out, we're hiking the Rim Trail here today. And having a nice time. It's not as hot out, it's nice and cool, and we get a lot of shade on the Rim Trail. We get sun too, but we get lots of shade. And we've been giving her here along this trail for a while now. It's a pretty nice trail. I can motor pretty good. And the dog's been up and down it. And they took some side trips, so they're getting their workouts, these two. They're happy to stop here right now. And it's been really good. Now, we got no water holes left on the trail. There used to be one, but it's dried up. And so we'll turn our trip back a little bit shorter. I didn't pack water today. We're not gone that long. And we'll find the other water hole back earlier, so they weren't thirsty then, so we just went right by it. But the one that used to be back here is dry. Now, in the world of working Elkhounds, very few dogs of this caliber left in the world. There's dogs like this in the old country, but in North America, there's none left. It's this line is about the end of it right here, and very little importing going on anymore. Simply because the Europeans, they don't want to part with their good lines. They don't want to diffuse their good lines, and I don't blame them. It's a situation over here where the breeders took this particular line and bred it out, and they went for the new show type, and so the Europeans all know that. And when I talk to the old boys in Norway and Finland, they all say the same thing. Well, you guys had good dogs, and you bred them good dogs out, and so they're not keen on bringing those good dogs, those good hunting dogs, back over here. So I have to really work hard to get a good hunting dog back in here. And Tofa is, well, she's a flawless dog. She's a flawless hunting dog. If you read the original breed standard that was wrote back in the late 1800s, they wrote it about her, and Mon, but her especially. She's so flawless that she's one of the very few dogs that a breeder rarely ever in his life gets a dog that meets absolutely every criteria of the breed standard, and she just happens to meet them all. It's one of the very few dogs that does that. It's a outstanding female, just outstanding. Now, I got good dogs. Don't ever kid yourself. I got all really, really high-end dogs, but so to be a standout is quite profound. Now, Tofa, coming out of Mon, you see, has this chill atmosphere around the handler. It's just calm city, but get her working, boy. She's a full working dog and very, very sharp on the trails. But I stop, she stops. She's very, very good. Very relaxed dogs to hike with and to be around, and good dogs to have by you on these trails. Now Mon, he crawled over to me the minute he was born, and he never left. And this is an astounding hiking dog. Like, it's just the personal nature of this guy, without overpowering, is really profound. This is a very, very good dog, and he put all that right there, and it just come flying out. Like, it's hard to believe how it transfers. Now, the old boys knew it in the old country, right? That these genetics, they transfer, and if you pay attention to your genetic lines and you do it correctly year after year, and don't screw around, just watch your lines, you can transfer this down. Now, see, Tofa is, I have her grandmother in the yard, and I have her grandfather in the yard as well. And Tofa's a fourth generation dog for us, because as a little tiny pup I hiked with her great grandmother, right? We hiked, I actually had the great grandmother on these trails, and a phenomenal dog, right? So Camp is the great grandmother to that dog. Just an incredible female. Now the nice thing about Tofa is a high proportion Swedish genetic Norwegian Elkhound. Now, in Sweden they had Norwegian Elkhounds, and in Norway they had Norwegian Elkhounds. Now, at the start of the association, they weren't called Norwegian Elkhounds, but they decided that the Norway Association was going to go ahead and form a breed association and write a standard, and they were going to call it the Norwegian Elkhound. Now, Sweden at the exact same time had the exact same dog, but it had little things different. And so the Swedish boys, when they formed their association, they didn't agree with all of the things the Norwegians did. It took 37 years for them to agree on a common standard, because the Swedish dogs had little differences that the Swedish guys didn't want to lose, and the Norway boys had little things they didn't want to lose, and so it took quite a few years for them to sort out how to write that standard. So that's why the two standards were not the same. So a Norwegian Elkhound out of Sweden in the early days was judged differently, it was viewed differently, it was bred differently. It was always bred to hunt, it was always bred to work, but they had little differences. Now, the standard today has been rewritten a couple times, and so the standard of today is not the same standard of the original. Tofa would have a hard time with the new standard simply because of her markings, her color, her size, everything about it. The show breeders, they don't want this. She's too hard to judge. She's, in my opinion, a much better dog than any that are out there, but too hard to judge in a show. Now, in the old country, if you took this dog and put her in a hunting trial, she'd become a champion, no problem. And if you put her in a show, she'd win that too. So she can win in the old country, but she couldn't win here. And only if there was a Norway judge came over. Now, if a Norway judge came over, this dog could win, right? So it'd be pretty neat to see. Now, I've got a world-class show female in the yard, Silver Nova. Now, Silver Nova is just a stunning female, but put these two side by side, and they're both about the same size right now and same age. Nova's a little older, but wow, it's a shocking difference between the two. And the coat's different, the guard hairs are different, the feet are different, absolutely everything about the dog. So the only thing different, they're both very, very pure, very, very old Norwegian Elkhounds. They're just coming out of different regions and different breeding programs. So I'm very, very pleased that Mon can put this genetic straight down. And so, of course, Silver Nova was brought in for Mon to do that. Silver Nova is the new generation to bring new blood in and to help him carry this old line forward. Until I get him an old Norway girl, Silver Nova's it. So his next litter most likely will be with Silver Nova. And that will carry this old genetic forward. We're an old world preservation breeder, so I need to have blood for Mon to work with so that he can carry this line on. And he's I'll tell you what, he's absolutely flawless in putting everything down. You just, no, don't ever kid yourself. Kalia is this magnificent female. Kalia is her mother. Kalia is magnificent, and so that don't ever kid yourself. It's Kalia has done world-class work with this dog. So I just happen to have him on here today talking about him. And Kalia and Tofa are having a good visit, there's no doubt. Now Tofa's here because her family is gone on a holiday for 2 weeks, and they went to Iceland, so they asked if Vittner and her could come, and I had offered too, because I love to see the opportunity to work with the dogs and see how they function. Now, Tofa went through my DESNA program months ago, and literally, boy, 2 seconds. Now she's been on it sooner than, say, Vittner. Vittner had more time in between. It took me a minute to zero Vittner in. But Tofa just boom, just like she never left, honest to God. It was quite amazing. And check that out. Look at that dog. Just so happy. Now, Mon, you give me a second. I want to check. I heard a click. I want to just check my camera. You just stay, you guys. Just relax. It's okay. Just relax. Mon will never not leave my side. So where I go, he goes. Good, you guys. Just relax. Just relax. Good girl. Good girl. Good. 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 It's okay, Tofa. What a good girl. What a good girl. You can rest up, girl. Now, one thing I will notice is that between Tofa and Vittner, Tofa runs a little different condition than Vittner. And whatever it is there in the two genetic makeups, Vittner's packing a little more condition. He's a little bit more of an easy keeper. Now that could come out of leaf. It could be from the leaf side. But this dog's in magnificent shape, just magnificent condition. It's fascinating to get a pup back, and so nice, so good, and well adjusted, and very, very good dog. Now, Tofa should be worked on her own, and Vittner should be worked on his own. They should be worked together. If possible, every now and again, everybody should do it, but if they ever have a chance to get with somebody like Mon is so superior in every trait to other dogs that you put this dog with Mon, you see, and it just locks in all those behaviors that you want on the trail. So for Christine and Brent to bring these two back for like a little mini refresher is so profound. Like, oh, they get this dog home again, and it's like a brand new dog again. Because it watches and models Mon like you wouldn't believe. And of course, you could not model a better dog into remote terrain. It's really something. So this rim trail allowed me to see some smoke today. We had a ton of smoke come in last night, and there's 2 fires started on the other side of us, so we're paying attention today. And so I can get up here and take a look. Now they're about 15 kilometers over, so I'm not overly concerned, and they're small. They started with lightning, but at the same time, I've got a breeding frenzy going on in the yard. I got little pups there. I got every male I got in the yard, and I got 3 females in heat. Tofa's in heat, Kai's in heat, and Anya's in heat. And so every breeding male I got's in the yard, so it's chaos. If I had to put them all in something and move, that would be fun. I haven't even, that would just be a wild man show, put it that way. So yeah, so I have my buddy over across the way. He's about 15K over. He lives right on the river, and I told him, well, if we get spooked out here, we'll just camp out by the river. So he says, yeah, absolutely. So he went and cut all the grass and baled the hay there. It was a hay meadow, so he baled it all up and got her cleaned out, so that if worst case scenario, load them all up, we'll go camping. Now, the beauty of me, I can camp with 15, 16, so it's not a big deal. Most guys can't. But they all listen to me, so they would line up. Not that I wouldn't have to separate those females that are in heat with those males, because Mon and Jaeger, they're snorting at each other through the fence because they can't get to any of them. Kai's not getting bred. Reiko, he's in with Anya, and Dakota, he's with Tofa. So we're going to try Dakota, Mon's dad, with Tofa. And Tofa is the full sister to Mon's mother, Tekla. So we're going to give him another crack. He's coming 12, but I think he's got it in him yet. And we're going to let him try. He sure thinks he's got it. He's got his chest out, running around telling all these young bucks, get out of the road. Stay out of his way. So it's pretty funny. Jaeger and Bond, they're watching out, boy, they're not getting caught. Old Dakota, he'll chew them up, spit them out. So they're pretty cautious around him. But he might not be able to battle as long and as hard, but boy, I tell you, he brings it when he brings it. Holy cow. So yeah, he catches these guys, he finishes them off in a hurry. No fooling around, and they're pretty capable. But they give the old boy the slack too. They don't push him back, so it's very good. He just has to look at them. He don't actually get a hold of them. They're not letting him get a hold of them. But yeah, so a fun time. So with Bittner and Mon and Tuvo, the little guy. Oh, and the little guy, he's so funny. He's in the yard and he's right. I put him beside Tuvo. So he's fighting at the fence through with Tuvo there, and I get him out in the yard, and they're playing, rolling each other. It's pretty fun. So I'm going to get a video of all 3 brothers. Maybe today yet. I've got a few things to do, but I'm sure going to try. It's fun. So yeah, this is a good set of dogs to work with in the bush. Now, much easier set of dogs to work with in the bush. They are so focused on the handler that you like I haven't said anything to them at all. I don't have to ever think, where are they? Like, I mean, I just know they know where I am. And lots of the trail I don't have to worry about if I can see them or not. I never give it a second thought. I just know that around some corner here they'll be coming back and or coming down or coming up, and so it's very, very nice. So this is a very relaxing lineage to hike. It's like so relaxing and so trouble-free. And you can meet people, you can meet other dogs, it's very, very good. And Tofa, she's already treated bear without even barking, just walked it right up out of my trail. we were able to turn and leave the old girl. She had a little cub. We just big cub. Just moved them. I just give her a quick call. We walked on. No, that was not today. That was quite a while back. But flawless dog. No muss, no fuss. Didn't bother the bear at all. She was already back on the ground before we got her around, so it didn't bother her at all. And we just carried on. But she's a full working dog. And this is the old bear line, so it's very, very nice. They don't cause problems, and that's the beauty of it. Now, ton of back on the other side. I didn't take this pair there today yet, but in the next couple of days, back on the other side, there's only one water hole left, way over this ridge, and all the game is moving into that zone. So I'm going to take these two over there and just watch their behaviors. But if they're like Bittner, oh my goodness, they're so aware. So yeah, it'll be a fun time. Well, that's a pretty good video, I think. So if Tofa and Dakota hook up, I got little Mon babies, just little Mons coming, and little Tova's coming. It's so cool. So yeah, don't. That's a good girl. I just didn't want her to jump on my camera. I got my strap hanging down. What a good girl. What a good girl. What a good girl. Oh, my good girl, Tofa. What a good girl. You guys are so fantastic. Well, yeah, so and Mon's sister Luna's going to cycle this fall too, which is just an incredible set of dogs coming. Those ones out of Tofa and Luna, oh my goodness. All right, you guys, let's get you back on the trail a little bit and then we'll head home.